Monique Allen here, certified holistic nutritionist and founder of the PCOS weight loss blueprint by helping the PCOS lose weight without a restricted diet, popping pills, and spending hours in the gym. And I hope you guys are all well on this amazing Thursday. Today I want to talk to you about ways to support your body while on the pill or metformin. Because I know I have quite a few persons in my program that still choose to remain on these two forms of pharmaceuticals, which if you decide to, it's your right, your ability to decide when is the best time for you to make that change, or if you not having much issues with them and you want to stay with them, you're free to do so. But you still need to support your body's ability to function while on these pharmaceuticals. All right, so we are going to discuss this topic. All right, so I should say that for the persons that are inside of my program, the PCOS Weight Loss Blueprints, there will be a special bonus affixed to the bottom of the video or within the membership site in the bonus section, or you can just head over to the Facebook community where you'll see this video and it will be also affixed within the description section. All right, so let's start off with the two main forms of pharmaceuticals that your doctor will tend to put you on once you are diagnosed with PCOS. So the first one is metformin and the second one may be the pill. So metformin is a pharmaceutical drug that is used to treat or manage insulin resistance. So insulin resistance is something that's very common in PCOS. Around 70% of women with PCOS will tend to develop this I can call condition, tend to develop this, right? So what insulin resistance basically describes is that your body cells become less sensitive to insulin. So to backtrack, when we eat, our food is broken down into sugar, right? And this sugar has to go into the cells where it's used or where it's stored in the liver. So what happens in the situation of insulin resistance is that on the cells, there are these type of receptors, right? So what happens is that these receptors become less sensitive to insulin because insulin basically carries the glucose into the cells. When this happens, there's a large buildup of insulin within the bloodstream and it goes to various parts of the body and causes all sorts of harm and also improves your likelihood of developing type 2 diabetes as well as metabolic syndrome. All right, so what your doctor does is that she gives you these pills here, she gives you these pills of pharmaceuticals that helps to improve your body's sensitivity to insulin. But there can be several or a few side effects of taking these medications, especially in the long term. Like I've had many clients tell me that when they take the pill, they suffer from digestive issues, or whether that be diarrhea, bloating, cramping, all right? That's for metformin. For the pill, what the pill does is that your doctor wants you to have a bleed. So when you're on hormonal birth control, right, and you go to the bathroom, you pull out your panties and you see blood, what you're seeing there isn't a period, it's called a bleed, right? A period is a natural flow of hormones. When you're on the pill, this natural flow doesn't happen. What you see there is a bleed. The reason why your doctor does this is because they wouldn't want the walls of your uterus to become thickened, if that makes sense, with blood that should have been shed, right? So what you see there is a bleed, not necessarily a period. All right, and some women also decide that they want to stay on the pill as a form of hormonal contraceptive because they may not reach that stage where they're ready to create a family with their partner. Okay, so that's it for metformin and the pill. So when it comes on to taking these pharmaceuticals, right, they tend to affect three key areas of your body. One being your digestive system, two being your liver. And another thing that I like to have my clients think about is considering the long-term use or effects of these pharmaceuticals and a type of dependency on them, which is something that we should definitely not strive for, because I'm not against the use of pharmaceuticals for the use or management of PCOS, but I'm against the long-term use of it or it being the first line of care rather than lifestyle change or modifications. So I'm really not sure what that noise is, but let's try and move past it, right? So when it comes down to your digestive system, I want you to consider your gut health, right? So in your tummy, in your intestines, large and small, you have bacteria, right? And these bacteria are very important because they have many roles, everything from the production of your B vitamins to breaking down your food and to helping your body to break down and remove excess hormones. Your gut bacteria does that. So what happens is that when you take these pharmaceuticals, these medication, it tends to disrupt the balance or the flora within the gut. That's why sometimes women with PCOS tend to develop frequent yeast infections, because this balance or this balance of bacteria has been thrown off, a type of dysbiosis, right? So again, if you're within the program, that's why it's important you to refer to the Heal Your Gut section of the module. Go there, take in the content and do the steps. Will definitely help you in digestive issues that you're having. So another thing that tends to come into play, linking back your digestive system, is the leaky gut, right? So what I want you to think of is your intestines, right? Think of there being a type of interlock like this, right? But what happens when you eat certain foods that you may have a sensitivity to? And women with PCOS, they can be various things. I've had clients that have sensitivities to citrus. I've had clients that have sensitivities to milk. I have clients that are perfectly fine with gluten. Again, you don't necessarily have to go gluten-free if you have PCOS. That's a whole different video, but we're not going into that right now. So I want you to think of it as a type of interlock, right? So what happens is that when you have leaky gut caused by you consuming foods that you may be or pharmaceutical medication, is that they create a type of hole, if that makes sense, within the intestine lining, and food particles are able to go through that, affix themselves to different parts of the body, and cause you to have allergic reaction when your immune system comes into play. Yeah, so we talk about yeast, we talk about the B vitamins, we talk again about the gut bacteria, and you're likely to develop conditions such as IBS or SIBO. Right, so what happens with IBS and SIBO, which is very common again when PCOS, is that the bacteria from your large intestines will migrate to your small intestines. An indication that you may have issues with SIBO is that you may have extreme bloating with certain foods, you may have constipation, you may have diarrhea, you may have chronic muscle cramps, chronic stomach cramps, right? So another thing for you to consider also is the health of your liver. So your liver is an amazing organ. It's absolutely critical for you to have proper and practice good liver health. So what your liver does is that it basically helps your body to remove toxins and waste. And a type of waste that has to be removed is excess hormones such as testosterone and estrogen. And if your liver isn't working well, these hormones will actually be recycled back into your body, and that can cause a whole bunch of issues, right? So it's important for you to support your liver health. And another thing I want you to consider on is dependency of, or who you become dependent on these medications, right? Again, I'm not against them for the short-term use, but long-term use is not something that I necessarily recommend. All right, so this is why I created this bonus, because I know sometimes women may not necessarily be ready, as I said before, to come off of the pill or these pharmaceuticals. So the bonus will be affixed within this video. If you're watching this on YouTube, this video is going to cut shortly because this bonus is only available to persons within my program, the PCOS Weight Loss Blueprint. Well, if you're a woman that have PCOS and you're having issues and you want to know the exact steps that you need to take to overcome or manage your PCOS naturally, go ahead and send me a message to the email listed below, or go ahead and click the link listed below to join my program. And I'm excited to see you there.